boogity, boogity, get up on your feet.
Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the pre-Daytona 500 edition of the DW Show. Man, has there been a lot going on or what? I look, you see this list right here? This is a list. There are 10 driver crew chief changes going into the Daytona 500 this year. 10 different guys. Even our champion, Tony Stewart, fired his crew chief, his winning championship crew chief, and hired a new guy. Well, he's not a new guy, but he's got a new crew chief, Steve Addington. I mean, Addington was over there with Kyle Busch, and of course, you know, maybe that had something to do with it. I'm not sure, I'm just saying, you know. But nonetheless, you know, even Kevin Harvick's got a new crew chief. Shane Wilson's going to be. Denny Hamlin, he gets Tony's old crew chief, Darian Grubb. Mike Ford, I don't know what happened to Mike Ford. I haven't heard him being anywhere. And he was like, a year ago, 2 years ago, he and Denny almost won the championship. This year he's out of a job. Man, is this sport, is it changed? It changes every day. That's why you got to stay, that's why you got to tune into the DW Show. Keep you up to date, tell you what's going on. Juan Pablo's got a new crew chief. Danica Patrick, interesting there. I know, I don't go there, DW. Listen, she has probably one of the sharpest guys in the garage. Greg Zipadelli is going to be Danica's crew chief. Greg Zipadelli, who was with Joey Logano last year, and now he's over there with Danica. Danica's going to be driving the same car Tony's driving. The car that Tony won the championship in, Hendrick cars, Hendrick engines, that's what she'll have at Daytona. She has surrounded her. She's going to be in the nationwide race on Saturday, driving for Dale Jr. Got Tony Uri Jr. over there as a crew chief. She has surrounded herself with winning, people that are used to winning, people that know how to win. That just gives me a lot of confidence when I tell you that I think she's going to surprise a lot of people. Particularly at Daytona. Think back to July last year, Tony Stewart shoved her right to the lead in the nationwide race. And I think you could see that very same thing happen. So we go into Daytona, and everybody's, there's a word that I always like, anticipation. Oh, you're anticipating the Daytona 500. Why? Because we don't know what's going to happen. Now, I'm an expert analyst. How can I say I don't know what's going to happen? Well, it's because, would I have picked Trevor Bayne to win the Daytona 500 last year? No. Would I be Carl running second? Yeah, maybe. Bobby Labonte? David Gilliland? Those are the guys coming to the line at the end of the 500 miles at Daytona last year. Would I have picked those guys? No. And so that's the other thing. Everybody thinks they got a chance of winning it. They tell my brother's going to be in the race. He's going to be driving a car for Mike Hillman. The Hillmans are sort of Camping World truck guys. Mike's been in the Cup Series before, and he knows what he's doing. And Michael's going to be driving a car for him, and people would say, well, he doesn't have a chance. Everybody has a chance when you get to Daytona. The way the draft works, the way the positioning of everything works, anybody can win that race. And that's what makes it so. We've had 10 different winners over the last 10 races. They come out of nowhere. I mean, Ryan Newman gets pushed to a victory. Just different people at different times have come out of no place to win races. Kevin Harvick beats Mark Martin back to the line by that much to win the race. So it's just, who knows? And that's why we can't wait to get down there and get all tuned in on the 26th on Fox. You know, last year's race had a record number of lead changes. It was watched by 30 million people, the most that had watched that race in like 3 or 4 years, all on Fox. So you'd be sure and tune in this, on the 26th, and I think you're going to see one of the most unpredictable, exciting races we've ever seen. I can't wait to get down there. Now, there's another word that keeps coming up that people, I hear them talk about, potential. A.J. Allmendinger got to ride in Kurt Busch's old car with Roger Penske because they felt he has potential. They feel like if they surround him with the right people, put him in that 22 car, that, hey, who knows? He could be the champion. That team's that good. Certainly he and Keselowski last year and Kurt, they showed that Penske's got those Dodges. They got them running up front. And so AJ could be a big surprise as we go. Paul Menard. There are just so many guys, if I go down the list, that have the potential. A lot of it is intangibles, things you can't really see. A lot of it has to do with equipment and personnel and pit crews, and then a lot of it is in the driver's attitude and his confidence. So many things that go into producing a winning race and a winning race team and a championship team. Things that we just kind of got to put them all together. It's the sum of all the parts. And when you put all the right pieces and parts together, then you can have a winner, you can have a championship team. That's what everybody starts the season with. Then one other thing before I go, went to New York, had a great time in New York on a book tour. My new book's out. You see it set behind me back here. Sundays Will Never Be the Same. It's a fun read. There's some stories in there that was in the first book I did 10 years ago, but if you didn't read that book, you're gonna get to read some of those stories. There's a chapter in there about my first Daytona 500 back in 2001 when Michael won and Dale lost his life. There's just a lot in the book. It's a fun read. I hope you'll buy it and hope you enjoy it. Had a good time putting it together, and had a great tour in New York. Got to meet my old-time buddy, the I-Man, Don Imus, CBS morning show. I got to do Dagan McDowell. She is an absolute gearhead. She is a female gearhead. She loves the smell of burning rubber and carbon and gas fumes. And she's a redneck girl, but she knows her NASCAR, and she's a big fan. So I got to meet a lot of really sweet people while I was in New York, promoting the book and the Daytona 500. And I'm really excited about this year. I'm excited because the rules have been changed. We got fuel injection on the engines this year. You won't really ever know that you won't know the difference, but it's a big deal to the guys that build the engines and run the cars. They changed this. They changed the opening in the front of the car, the radiator opening, to try to keep these guys from running in tandem all day long, and I think they probably succeeded at that. These guys are going to be able to push each other, but not very long. And when they make the swap, when the guy in the back goes to the front, when you make that change, you lose about a second doing it. And so if the pack's back here and you're out front and you make that swap, which you're going to have to do, here comes the pack, they're going to eat you up. So I think we're going to see comers and goers all day long with the new rule package, the size of the opening in the bumper there to cool the engine. So that's going to be a big deal. They lowered the rear spoiler down a little bit. That's a little less downforce. Back of that car is going to hop around a little bit more. Cars are going to be a little more difficult to drive. I think we got all the ingredients for one of the wildest, craziest, and oh, by the way, fastest Daytona 500s we've ever had. Man, I'm jacked up. I've had one Mountain Dew today, and I'm jacked up. I'm ready to go. Hope you are too. See you on the TV.